So, breaking news update for all of you who were following. Well, Neeraj Chopra was in action today in the Diamond League final. In fact, this was the crown that he was defending, having won it last year. And there was plenty of hopes that Neeraj Chopra would, in fact, be able to retain the Diamond League, let's say, title, which he himself had won. Given that the field for this year's final in the javelin throw event at least was comparatively much weaker. Really, it was pretty much a straight shootout between two individuals. One was Neeraj Chopra and the other was Jakub Bartlech. And it is, in fact, Jakub Bartlech who has emerged victorious in the final of the javelin throw event, the men's javelin throw event at the Diamond League. So, breaking news update. Neeraj Chopra ended up finishing second in the Diamond League final. Now, this was, dare I say, and if I have to recap how things went, this was probably not one of those nights which will go down in the history of the sport. In fact, it was a pretty attritional night for the most part because you really saw a lot of struggle from a lot of the athletes. I mean, yes, Jakub Bartlech, who is in fact the winner for those asking, Jakub Bartlech from the Czech Republic, who ended up getting the title at the end. Well, he actually started things off. His very first throw, he threw 84.01 meters, and really that was the benchmark to beat pretty much till the last round, because there no one really came close to that, especially Neeraj with his first throw, because he ended up throwing a foul throw, and everyone else was, well, there was no one close, because the closest beyond that was Adrian Mardare, who ended up throwing 80 meters. Thereafter, Neeraj did pick things up a little bit. He ended up getting an 83.8, but even that was only good enough to keep him in second place. And then come the final throw, which of course, since it 84.80 is again probably not, or rather 84.01 is not one of those very big margins. So there was a hope that Neeraj might even take it all the way down to the last throw and then maybe land it. But Neeraj, even in his final throw, only ended up getting an 80.90. So it wasn't really the biggest of throws. And once that was done, at that point, Jakub Bartlech knows that the title was sealed. Thereafter, on his final attempt, he threw the best throw of the night at 84.24. So again, it really was a bit attritional, fine margins really when it came down to it, but not the kind of news you would have been expecting from Neeraj Chopra, given that, he has been in some pretty good form recently. Yes, if you go by the Diamond League, you'd remember that, in fact, in the final Diamond League event that he took part in, there too he didn't actually end up winning, or finishing on the top. But most people thought that he would be able to do so in the final. That didn't really happen, but it has still been a pretty good year if you're a Neeraj Chopra fan. And let's face facts, who is it? He ended up, of course, winning the World Athletics Championship gold, and he will be ending his season with the Asian Games that is upcoming. Whilst many people would have doubtless hoped that he could actually, enter the Asian Games with some winning momentum in the Diamond League, unfortunately, I don't think that, the kind of season that he's had this year has helped. It's been pretty long. It has, in fact, been more intense than he was used to up until recent times. Because you remember that Neeraj was one of those people who was very picky and very, let's say, he was very selective about the events that he took part in. Once he did take part in, though, you knew he was always competing right there at the top. Maybe that's taken a bit of an impact. We don't know, but we hope he can end the season strong come the Asian Games, because I think he will also be very keen to ensure that he can get that gold medal in the Asian Games, set himself up nicely, of course, for Paris 2024, where of course he is the defending champion in the Olympics. So that's the breaking news update for those of you who are joining us. It's in fact Jakub Bartlech who has won the Diamond League final. Neeraj Chopra has to settle for a second place, but I will say this, it is wonderful progress as a fan of Indian sport that you look at a second place finish in an event like the Diamond League and say, hey, you know what, we're a little bit disappointed with that. It does show how high the bar is that Neeraj Chopra has set. And I mean, to be fair, he's been one of the most consistent athletes in recent times. This just happened to be one of those times where he just about missed out. It wasn't a massive margin, but that in fact, was something that, let's say, you can't always do. I'll just take a few of your comments since I see a few of them rolling in before calling it a night. Abhishek asking who's the winner. It's Jakub Bartlech. Sports fan points out that the same thing did in fact happen in the meet just after the World Championships. Correct. In fact, this is the second time that Jakub Wadlic has finished ahead of him. The same thing, as the sports fan points out, happened in the Diamond League meet after the World Championships. He ended up finishing second, and year two he's finished second to Wadlic. And let's see, Abhishek is also asking, what is the standing of Arshad Nadeem in this? Did he participate? No, Arshad Nadeem did not actually participate in a single event of the Diamond League, so he was never going to be part of the finals. Of course, if he had to be there, it very well would have probably been, he would have probably been right up there, or at least up there than thereabouts. Because again, as I said, the competition for this year wasn't that intense. It very much was a straight shootout between Neeraj and Jakub Wadlic. In fact, many people have been rather puzzled at the fact that Anderson Peters, who you remember bested Neeraj in the World Athletics Championship final last year with a string of 90-meter throws, has been nowhere near his best this season, I think, and it's just speculation on my part, but there was an incident where he was robbed or mugged when he was at home, and his form has taken a nosedive ever since. In fact, even today, he just didn't actually, come anywhere close to competing. So Anderson Peters would have realistically been that other person, but because his form has taken an absolute nosedive, was a straight shootout between Jakub Wadlic and Neeraj Chopra, one that Wadlic won. Thank you guys so much though for joining us for this live stream. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget, show us your love, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment as well. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go right ahead and check out some other videos if we've done, if of course you don't want to catch up on some sleep. For now though, from my side, it's goodbye, good night, and see you guys tomorrow. Big day coming.